I mean, I think anyone can scare crows. This is Buddhist Books Podcast, episode 217, Tipiṭaka, part 140, in which we will continue reading Mahāvagga I. And this is Mahāvagga I, part 11. So, for those who just joined us, this is the first thing you're watching. You've never seen me before. This behind me, it's all new. What we're reading, if you aren't already familiar, is the Tipiṭaka, which is Pali. You might think, why isn't he saying Tipiṭaka? Pali was the original language that it was written in. And in that language, it's Tipiṭaka. Tipiṭaka is Sanskrit for the same thing. It means 3 baskets. Basket 1 is these 6 books, including this one. So these 5 and this one makes 6. So that's the Vinaya Piṭaka. That's the rules basket or the discipline basket. And then behind me, right here, is the doctrine basket. So we'll get to that one day. And then the higher doctrine basket is these here on the second shelf and these here on my left, your right. Anyway, if you would like to start and watch this whole series, again, we're on episode 140 of Tipiṭaka. If you want episode 1 of Tipiṭaka, it's here. You can click that, and then, we'll see you when you catch up to Tipiṭaka 140. Best wishes to you. Okay, now that they're gone. For those of you who are more interested, so the part that these 3 books is the rules for monks, the rules for nuns. And then Mahāvagga I starts out with Lord Buddha beginning his ministry and taking his first students and then establishing the rules for how the order is going to be managed, where these are specific rules for monks that one individual monk does something wrong, so he has to make a rule, don't do that. Or a nun does something wrong, and he says, okay, don't do that. And this is rules, general rules for everyone to follow, if that makes sense. Anyway, so if you want to start at the beginning of Mahāvagga I, you can go ahead and click there. All right, I will go ahead and begin today's reading, picking up right where we left off last time. Now at that time, a certain family came to pass away as a result of malaria. Parentheses only, and parentheses, the father and little son belonging to it survived. These, having gone forth among the monks, walked even for alms food together. Then that boy, when alms food was given to his father, having run up to him, spoke thus, quote, "Give to me too, Father. Give to me too, Father." End quote. Didn't we already establish a rule against initiating monks under the age of 20? He doesn't sound like he's 20. I'll keep reading. People, 3 dots, spread it about, saying, quote, "These recluses, sons of the Sakyans, are not chaste." This boy was born of a nun. What? No, he wasn't. End quote. Monks heard these people who, 3 dots, spread it about. Then these monks told this matter to the Lord. He said, quote, "Monks, a boy of less than 15 years of age should not be let go forth. Whoever should let, parentheses, one such, end parentheses, go forth, there is an offense of wrongdoing. End quote. Now, I've heard, this is kind of the first time that I'm feeling like, yeah, okay, this must be why people say that. I've heard that the Tipiṭaka may be like a collection of different things that were written down at different times by different people in the centuries following, that came after the original Sangha. And it's starting to seem like that's true for two reasons. One, the end of the reading we did yesterday was almost identical to something that we read like a year ago in the Rules for Monks, and it contradicts what we just read. This is the first time that I've noticed a direct contradiction in these teachings. That's interesting. That being that just now, Lord Buddha said that no one should initiate someone under the age of 20. And then after that, no one should initiate anyone under the age of 15. Well, surely if he's under 20, then maybe, then he's definitely under 15. One thing that may be possible, that just occurred to me, is that this came first. So maybe there was that situation with the father and the son, and the son was young, and then Lord Buddha said, hey, 15 is the limit. And then later he said, hey, 20 is the limit. However, when it was Pali and his 16 friends, the group of 17 monks, we haven't seen them in a while. Yes, we had that's the group of 17 monks. That's how we represent them here on Buddhist Books Podcast. Muppet babies. Anyway, and don't count them. I don't think there's, or maybe I made 17. The point is that they were wetting the bed and in the middle of the night going, give me congee, give me rice. So I think they're way younger than 15. But at that time, Lord Buddha made the rule that they had to be 20. And here's a boy saying, Father, give me food. Father, give me the alms food that you just got from begging for alms. And he's saying that you have to be 15. I'll keep reading. I've said enough. Too much, even. How's everybody doing? I hope everybody's doing well. Now, at that time, the family, faithful, believing, who supported the Venerable Ananda, passed away as a result of malaria. But 2 boys survived. These, having seen monks, ran up to them according to their former allowable custom, but, and the monks sent them away. These cried on being sent away by the monks. Then it occurred to the Venerable Ananda, quote, it is laid down by the Lord that a boy of less than 15 years of age should not be allowed to go forth, and these boys are less than 15 years of age. Now, by what means might these boys not be lost? End quote. Then the Venerable Ananda told this matter to the Lord. He said, quote, but Ananda, are these boys able to scare crows? End quote. Quote, they are able, to do so, and Lord, end quote. Then the Lord, on this occasion, in this connection, having given reasoned talk, addressed the monks, saying, quote, I allow you, monks, to let a youth of less than 15 years of age, and who is a scarer of crows, go forth. End quote. Okay. All right. I mean, I think anyone can scare crows. So, okay. I'll keep reading. This is a little bit interesting. Now at that time, the Venerable Upananda, we haven't seen him in a little while. These cartoon images are from when we were reading the Rules for Monks and the Rules for Nuns. In fact, let's put him here. It's been a while. I've missed I've missed these characters. I didn't think we were going to hear from them again, but surely they'll repeat. Okay, the idea is I don't generally, with the exception of Upali, because, Upali was one of the, as I mentioned, one of the 17 monks that were very young and wetting the bed when they became monks. And so as a result of them becoming monks, let's put him here. That's Upali. This is Upananda, right? What we're talking about right now in the book is about him, but he's something random, not in the book right now that I'm bringing up. He was yesterday. Yesterday was Upali. Him and his 16 friends, or the group of 17 monks, these little kids that became monks. And anyway, he grew up and became one of the 10 principal disciples of Lord Buddha. And generally, I don't assign cartoon characters to monks or nuns unless they're like naughty. And Upali's not naughty. And Kermit is the most wholesome of cartoon characters. I mean, obviously, he's a Muppet originally. Thank you, Upali. But yeah, just so you know where I'm coming from, I'm not like, I didn't make a cartoon character for Ananda, for instance. Hi, Editor Edward here, just interjecting because that me that was just talking accidentally uttered a falsehood. We did, in fact, assign a cartoon character to the venerable disciple of Lord Buddha, Ananda, namely Guru Patik, from Avatar: The Last Airbender, now seen here. He was the one who was a great teacher for young Aang. Let's play a little clip.
The water flows through this creek, much like the energy flows through your body. As you see, there are several pools where the water swirls around before flowing on. These pools are like our chakras.
So chakras are pools of spiraling energy in our bodies?
Exactly. If nothing else were around, this creek would flow pure and clear. However, life is messy, and things tend to fall in the creek. And then what happens?
The creek can't flow?
Yes, but if we open the paths between the pools,
the energy flows.
So yes, as in the case of Upali being represented by young Kermit the Frog, a very respectable cartoon character is representing the venerable Ananda. Okay, back to the program, or Lord Buddha, or Shariputra, or anyone like that. Just for people like Upananda. Let's just for fun, let's just do a quick rundown of just 4 or 5 things Upananda did. He refused to wait one day for his new robe that was being gifted to him. Upananda asked his brother's cellmate to go on a tour of the country with him. And his brother's cellmate was like, oh, my robe isn't good enough. And so he gave him a new robe. Upananda gave this guy a new robe. Then the guy heard that Lord Buddha was going on a tour of the country. And he's like, oh, I'm going to go with Lord Buddha. And when Upananda said, okay, let's go on tour of the country, he's like, oh, I'm not going with you, I'm going with Lord Buddha. He's like, oh yeah, well that robe's going to go with me. And he tore it off of him in anger. Next, he tells his brother's cellmate, let's go for alms today. And then at the last minute, he's like, don't come with me, I can't stand you, I don't like being around you, you make me miserable. And so that monk went hungry. He was called upon by a specific family for a meal. He stopped to visit other families on his way and ended up arriving late. He asked another monk to conceal his crime of intentionally emitting semen. And in this case, it was the other monk, the one who concealed it, that got in trouble. Okay, so yeah, that was from the earlier readings. The first 3 books, really the first 2 books, were the rules for monks. And Upananda, boy, that guy, he really had an issue with his brother's cellmate. Okay, so where were we? I'll just keep reading now that we know a little bit about that, for those who are new. Upananda, where are you? Yes. Now at that time, the venerable Upananda, the son of the Sakyans, sorry I'm interrupting the text a little more today than usual. Yeah, you remember a couple episodes ago, there was that whole nepotism rule where Lord Buddha said that someone who is a member of another sect has to wait on probation before they join our sect. Unless they're a son of the Sakyans, they can be initiated as a monk immediately. So there's a little bit of favoritism for Lord Buddha's own cousins. And if I'm not mistaken, that includes Devadatta. I seem to remember that he's also a cousin of Lord Buddha. So sometimes maybe he might regret having made that rule to make it so easy for his cousins to join, because they seem to at times cause trouble. Not every time. But anyway, so yeah, he's a son of the Sakyans. He's a cousin of the Lord Buddha from the same family, right? Okay, he had two novices. He was teaching two students, Khandaka and Mahāvagga. I'm retired from assigning cartoon characters, so I'm not going to assign any cartoon characters yet. I'll think about it. Anyway, these committed sodomy with one another. Now, okay, that's interesting because this was translated in the 1930s, and that's not an expression that we in the English-speaking world use in 2024. It's considered in very poor taste today. Because what it means is that they had sex. They had probably anal sex. And if those who have been listening for a long time, in Tipiṭaka I, in the very first rule of Tipiṭaka, it becomes clear from reading the whole thing that Lord Buddha mostly has an issue with people having heterosexual intercourse, man and woman having sex, because that makes a baby. And when you have a baby, that's going to mess up your whole path. And also, giving into passion and lust and all this sort of thing goes against being a monk or a nun as well. But the main issue was don't do something that's going to make you have a child, because that's going to be an issue for you as a monk for the rest of your life. And also, don't give in to passion. So because of that emphasis, because that was the point of what he was saying, it becomes clear from reading the different examples that he's a little more lenient when it's two boys. He doesn't have like an extra, like for people who are used to, people in the English-speaking world are used to Leviticus in the Bible, where if a man lays with another man as men lay with women, then both of the men should be killed, murdered by the village. There's nothing like that in Buddhism, and I have not run into that in other forms of Indian philosophy, as far as I know. But sodomy specifically refers to the Lord's wrath upon Sodom and Gomorrah in, I believe, Genesis, in that same Bible, the same testament of the same Bible. The point is that in that whole context of the condemnation of homosexuality and homosexual intercourse as being completely unnatural for any sort of human in the religion, the word sodomy means that they did the big bad thing that was done in that ancient mythical city of Sodom, that God destroyed the city because they were doing. So that's why we don't use the word in English anymore, at least people outside of very old-fashioned, in a bad way, religious communities. Normal English-speaking people don't say sodomy anymore. Not that it's like a bad word or it triggers people or something. It's just really in poor taste. Where a couple generations ago, people used the word to refer to when two men have anal sex. But yeah, so the reason I bring it up is because it's not as big of a sin when two boys do it as when a boy and a girl do it in the context of Buddhism. But the use of the word sodomy implies that it's a bigger sin than when it's a boy and a girl. All right. Now that that's all out of the way, and that this episode is officially a little weird, right? All this, it's because of what's in the text, and maybe the YouTube algorithm is going to flag this. I'm like, whatever, I don't know. Okay. Yes, so Upananda's students were doing this, right? Upananda. Monks looked down upon. Yeah, you're not supposed to do that. Yeah, you're monks. Stop it. But it's not like, oh my God, the devil has them. No, not the same level of criticized, spread it about, saying, quote, how can these novices indulge in a bad habit such as this? End quote. They told this matter to the Lord. He said, quote, monks, 2 novices should not attend one, parentheses, monk, end parentheses. Whoever should make 2 novices attend him, there is an offense of wrongdoing. End quote. So maybe we can assume that this was after the rule, the original parajika, the rule number 1 for monks was established, don't have sex. And then a monk was like, well, he said not with a woman. I had sex with a man. And Buddha's like, don't have sex with a man either. And then, oh, well, I had sex with an animal. He said with a human, woman, or man. It's like, don't have sex with an animal either. And he's like, oh, he didn't say that it was dead. It was a dead animal. And he's like, don't have. So that's why the rule number 1 went on and on and on and on and on and on and on because the monks kept trying to find loopholes. So that's silly. But I'm assuming that rule is already established, or maybe not. Or again, maybe it's one of those things where the writing over here and the writing over here don't match. So it's not like one person sat down to write a cohesive thing. It's a bunch of people wrote down what they remembered as rules that were established and the stories that accompanied the establishing those rules, and they all got put into a collection, and they all ended up becoming one, one collection of writings, and now one book or one series of books. Okay, fun stuff, right? Okay, thank you, Upananda. Thank you. So 1 monk, 1 student, not 1 monk, 2 students, or 1 teacher, 2 students. One student per teacher. That's interesting that was Lord Buddha's takeaway from this was, well, yeah, there's going to be shenanigans if you have 2 students, because they usually share a cell, so. Okie dokie. Now at that time, the Lord spent the rains just there in Rajagaha, right, Rajgir. The cold weather there, the hot weather there. Oh, okay, so this was before they started traveling, maybe. People, 3 dots, spread it about, saying, quote, the district is crowded up, confused with recluses, sons of the Sakyans, because of them the district is not to be seen. What? Oh, because there's so many people that you can't see them through all the monks? Okay, end quote. Monks heard these people who, 3 dots, spread it about. Those who were modest monks, Then these monks told this matter to the Lord. Then the Lord addressed the Venerable Ananda, saying, quote, go, Ananda, and taking a key, announced to the monks in every cell, quote within quotes, your reverences, the Lord wishes to set out on tour for Dakshinagiri. Whatever venerable one needs, parentheses, to do so, end parentheses, let him come. End quote, then quotes, end quotes. I'm not sure what would constitute needing to go with him. Quote, yes, Lord, end quote. And the Venerable Ananda, having answered the Lord in assent, taking the key, announced to the monks in every cell, quote, your reverences, the Lord wishes to set out on tour for Dakshinagiri. Whatever venerable one needs, parentheses, to do so, end parentheses, let him come, end quote. Monks spoke thus, quote, Reverend Ananda, it is laid down by the Lord, parentheses, that one is, end parentheses, to live 10 years in dependence, And when one is of 10 years standing, parentheses, he is, end parentheses, to give guidance. If we go there, then guidance must be chosen, parentheses, there, end parentheses. But the stop, and parentheses, there, end parentheses, may be short. Then we must come back again, and guidance must be chosen again. If our teachers and preceptors are going, we too will go. But if our teachers and preceptors are not going, then we will not go. Reverend Ananda, we shall, parentheses, otherwise, end parentheses, look feather-brained. I like that. Feather-brained. We should bring that back. End quote. Then the Lord set out on tour for Dakshinagiri with an order of monks numbering less than a group. Then the Lord, having stayed in Dakshinagiri for as long as he found suiting, came back again to Rajagaha. Then the Lord addressed the Venerable Ananda, saying, quote, "How is it, Ananda, that the truth finders set out on tour for Dakshinagiri with an order of monks numbering less than a group?" End quote. Then the Venerable Ananda told this matter to the Lord. Then the Lord, on this occasion, in this connection, having given reason to talk, addressed the monks, saying, quote, "I allow, monks, an experienced, competent monk to live 5 years in dependence, parentheses, but, end parentheses, an inexperienced one all his life. Monks, if a monk is possessed of 5 qualities, he should not live independently, parentheses, of a preceptor or teacher, end parentheses. If he is not possessed of an adept's body of moral habit, 3 dots, parentheses, and now this is where the Pali Text Society, thank you, Pali Text Society, clarifies that this is all the same as, remember a while ago, like, a few sections ago where he was talking about what 5 qualities make a good monk and a not good monk, all that stuff. Well, it's the same. It's just copy-paste that stuff from here. Thank you, Pali Text Society. I wouldn't want to trouble you to translate the whole thing. And parentheses, 3 dots, monks. If a monk is not possessed of these 5 qualities, he should not live independently. Monks, if a monk is possessed of 5 qualities, he may live independently. If he is possessed of an adept's body of moral habit, 3 dots, parentheses, same, it's all that stuff. He goes on and on about not having these 5 traits, having these 5 traits, blah, 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 blah. It's all the same, copy-paste. End parentheses, thus saith the Pali Text Society. Okay, let's not do that twice in one episode. Okay, 3 dots, monks. If a monk is possessed of these 5 qualities, he may live independently. Monks, if a monk is possessed of 5 further qualities, he should not live independently. If he comes to be of no faith, 3 dots, parentheses, you know what I'm going to say. Pali Text Society, blah, blah, blah. Copy-paste from whenever that was. I don't know. Part 8 or 9 of these recitals. Somewhere in there. End parentheses, 3 dots. Monks, he should not live independently. Monks, if a monk is possessed of 5 qualities, he may live independently. If he comes to have faith, 3 dots, parentheses, all that stuff. End parentheses, monks, 3 dots, he may live independently. 3 dots, 5 further qualities, he should not live independently. If in regard to moral habit, he comes to have fallen away from moral habit, 3 dots, parentheses, it's all the same stuff as before. End parentheses, 3 dots, monks. If a monk of 5 qualities is possessed of 5 qualities, he may live independently. So whatever that was saying, I don't remember. It was saying if a monk has these 5 qualities, then he can maybe be a preceptor, right? If a monk has these 5 qualities, he can be a preceptor. If he doesn't have these 5 qualities, he can't be a preceptor. If he has these 5 qualities, he can be a teacher. If he doesn't have these 5 qualities, he can't be a teacher. All right. So now he can or cannot live independently, right? If he doesn't have these 5 qualities. Right. Okay. Makes sense. Okay. Continuing. Monks. If a monk is possessed of 5 qualities, he may live independently. If in regard to moral habit he does not come to have fallen away, parentheses, same stuff, end parentheses, he may live independently. 5 further qualities should he not live independently if he does not know what is an offense, parentheses, same stuff, end parentheses. Monks. If a monk is possessed of 5 qualities, he may live independently. If he knows what is an offense, parentheses, same stuff, end parentheses, he may live independently. 5 further qualities should he not live independently if he does not know what is an offense. Should he not live independently if he does not know what is an offense, 3 dots, parentheses, same stuff, end parentheses, 3 dots. If he is of less than 5 years standing, 3 dots. Monk. If a monk is possessed of 5 qualities, he may live independently. If he knows what is an offense, 3 dots, parentheses, same stuff, end parentheses, 3 dots. If he is of 5 years standing or of more than 5 years standing, 3 dots. Monks. I've committed to read all of these books. I'm going to finish reading what it says here. Sorry. Monks. If a monk is possessed of 6 qualities, he should not live independently. If he is not possessed of an adept's body of moral habit, 3 dots, parentheses, same stuff, end parentheses, 3 dots. If he is of less than 5 years standing. Monks. If a monk is not possessed of those 6 qualities, he should not live independently. Monks. If a monk is possessed of 6 qualities, he may live independently. If he is possessed of an adept's body of moral habit, 3 dots, parentheses, same stuff, end parentheses, 3 dots. If he is of 5 years standing or more than 5 years standing, 3 dots. 6 further qualities should not live independently. He should not live independently. If he comes to have no faith, 3 dots, parentheses, same stuff, end parentheses, 3 dots. If he is of less than 5 years standing, 3 dots. Possessed of 6 qualities, he may live independently. If he comes to have faith, 3 dots, parentheses, same stuff, end parentheses, 3 dots. If he is of 5 years standing or more than 5 years standing, 3 dots. 6 further qualities, he should not live independently. If, in regard to moral habit, he comes to have fallen away from moral habit, 3 dots, parentheses, same stuff, end parentheses, 3 dots. If he is of less than 5 years standing, 3 dots. Possessed of 6 qualities, he may live independently. If in regard to moral habit, he does not come to have fallen away, 3 dots, parentheses, same stuff, end parentheses, 3 dots. We're almost to the end. If he is of 5 years standing or more than 5 years standing, 3 dots. 6 further qualities, he should not live independently. If he does not know what is an offense, 3 dots, parentheses, same stuff, end parentheses, 3 dots. If he is of less than 5 years standing, 3 dots. Possessed of 6 qualities, he may live independently. If he knows what is an offense, 3 dots, parentheses, same stuff, end parentheses, 3 dots. If he is of 5 years standing or more than 5 years standing. Monks. If a monk is possessed of these 6 qualities, he may live independently. End quote. Told is the portion for repeating on safe and secure. All right. Do you hear the birds? Okay, well that was the reading for today, and this one was a little bit interesting. And I hope everybody is having a wonderful day. For me, I think it's Monday, so I hope everybody has a wonderful week, and surely we will be back very soon for Mahāvagga I, Part 12. I'll go ahead and do the closing now. To the north and to the south, to the east and to the west, to the spirits of light among us and to the spirits below, we send out our reverent love and compassion. May all beings be happy. May all beings be serene. May all beings be in peace. Until next time.